Hi everyone, it's Thursday and I've got some special guests with me today who are going to help talk through the answers to day 4 and day 5 of today's rapid reasoning. So hello Amy and hello Mum Emma, how are you?
Hi, we're good. You?
Good. Okay, what have you been up to then apart from doing your schoolwork? What have you been keeping yourself busy with?
Well, we've been doing cooking with swimming, so we've done jam tarts and pizza scones.
Wow, so you've been doing some cookery, have you? Pizza scones. Can you tell me a bit more about pizza scones?
So you put the vegetable in the mixture and have like cheese and tomato on top, and it's really good.
Sounds amazing.
I can vouch for them.
I'll have to get Mum to email me that recipe, Amy. Right, let's get on with some math. So you've done your work already on Monday, is that right? You did day 4 and day 5's work on Monday.
Yes.
Yep, and you've emailed it to me and you're going to talk through your solutions. Yeah, okay, so this was day 4's maths and here we've got all of Amy's answers. So we're just going to look at one question at a time like we usually do, and Amy's going to talk through what she did to work each one out. So the first question for day 4, which is Thursday's maths, the area of a farmer's field is 703 metres squared. The field is rectangular. The width of the field is 19 metres, and it says not to scale, so don't get your ruler out. That doesn't help, does it, Amy? It asks what the height, or we've looked at some of these, actually it should say width, what the width of the field is. You want to talk through what you did for us, Amy?
So I know that the width of the field is 19 meters, and to get the area, you do length times width. So you do 703 meters squared divided by 19 meters.
Brilliant, yeah.
So I know that 19 times 3 is 57, which is the highest number, but is lower than 70. So I times that by 10 to get 570. I then take that away from 703, which is 133. Then up here I've done 19 times 7, which is 133. Now I have written it wrong here, but it does work out.
Yeah.
So 133 minus 133 is nothing. So you know that the answer would be 37 because 30 plus 7 is 37.
That's great. So you're saying that the width of his field is 37 meters. Yep. And I've checked your answer because I know if we multiply 19 by 37, we get 703. So I've done the inverse and worked out that you must be correct. Well done, Amy. So let's look at the next question that we looked at. So this was question 2. It says, looking at this number, do you know what? I haven't tried reading it, so I'm going to try reading it. 74,903,182.3. Does that sound right, Amy?
I think so.
I think so, yeah. We can use the commas to help us. So it says, write down the digit that is in the 10th place. And you've written a 3, which Mum has ticked. So it must be right on the answer scheme. How did you know that it was a 3?
So you know that tens in this case would be 8. And you know that tenths means that it would be a decimal.
Right.
So in this case, the digit in the 10th place would be 3.
Yep, so the tenths is a 3. It's the one after the decimal point. Well done, Amy. And then the next part says, write down the digit that is in the 10,000s place. And again, you've got that right. You've got a 0.
So in this case, you know that, again, it's not the tenths or the tens. So you know that in the thousands column, you've got a 3. And so that means in the 10,000s column, you've got a 0.
Brilliant. Yeah, and you corrected yourself there. You didn't say 0, you said 0 because it's mathematically correct. Well done. So the last question for Thursday. I found this one quite difficult. It took me a while to work this one out. Circle 2 numbers that multiply together to equal 1 million. So you've circled those 2 numbers. Can you talk us through your thinking on that, Amy?
So you know that 5,000 doubled is 10,000, and you know that if you're timesing it by 200, then it's going to get 100 times bigger, which would be 1 million.
1 million, yeah. And I can see some little jottings that you did there. Other people might not be able to see on their screen, but you'd worked out if you multiply something by 100, then it gets 100 times bigger, moves to the left 2 places, and you end up with those zeros. So well done, you split your 200 into 2 and 100. So full marks on day 4. Well done, Amy. Proud of her, mum?
Yes.
Brilliant. Right, are you ready for day 5? Yep.
Yes.
Yes, right. So these were day 5's questions. Amy did these on Monday, so she just got to refresh her memory on what she did. So here are Amy's answers, and we'll look at these one at a time again. So Kieran and Hope have some money. Altogether, they've got £3. Kieran gives Hope 20p so that they both have the same amount. How much money did each have to start with?
So it says that they have equal amount. So if you do £3 divided by 2, you get £1.50.
Yep.
So that's what they each have at the end of it. You then do £1.50 minus 20p to get Hope's original money.
Yeah, that's right.
Which would be £1.30. Then if you do £1.30 plus £1.70, you get £3. So Kieran must have £1.70 and Hope must have £1.30.
Yeah, and you've got them the right way round, because sometimes people lose marks on questions like that because they work the maths out, but they put the wrong amount in each one. But when we go back to the question, it said Kieran gives Hope 20p, so he's the one that had the most to start with. So when he gives her 20p, he's got 20p less, which is 150, and she's got 20p more, which will make her 130 add 20, which is £1.50. Well done. Right, so let's have a look at question 2 for Friday. So we've got to write in the missing numbers. It's testing what we know about time. Let's have a look at the first one. 72 months is how many years? What did you know about months and years that helped you?
So you know that 12 months is in 1 year.
Right.
So if you do 72 months divided by 12, you get 6 years. So 72 months must equate to 6 years.
Brilliant, well done. Okay, on the next one, it said 96 hours is how many days? Do you want to talk us through what you did with that one?
Yeah, so I originally thought that 12 hours was in 1 day, but then later I thought that no, there are 24 hours in a day,
Yep.
which means you do 96 hours divided by 24, which gives you 4, or to make that easier, you can do 96 divided by 12 divided by 2, which would also give you 4.
Brilliant. And well done, Amy, actually, for including your mistake in there. You've been really, really honest, and you've included a mistake. It's an easy one to make, isn't it? We were talking earlier about sometimes we do think that a day is only 12 hours because a real day, if we talk about time and maths, is the day and the night. So it's not just the time it's light, but thank you for sharing your thinking there. And then the last one, 720 minutes is how many hours?
So you know that there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. So if you do 720 divided by 60, you get 12. Or again, to make that easier, you could do 72 divided by 6, which would also give you 12.
Brilliant, well done. I love the way that you're explaining to people how you know the facts that you know to make things easier. And the last question. Here are 4-digit cards. So we've got a 7, a 5, a 2, and a 4. Use these cards to complete the calculation so that the answer would round to 1,000 when rounded to the nearest 100. This was one where you probably had quite a bit of trial and error. Is that right?
Yeah.
Trial and improvement. Yeah. Okay, talk us through what your thoughts were, Amy.
So first of all, I originally thought make it 99 and then something that would round up to 1,000. But then when I tried that, there wasn't a 3 to add to 6, and you couldn't carry something over because you had no 8. So I then went for it rounds down. So I went for 623 plus 425. 5 plus 3 is 8, 2 plus 2 is 4, and 6 plus 4 would be 10. Then you're looking at, to round it to the nearest 100, you're looking at the tens place, which is a 4, which rounds down. So therefore it would round down to 1,000.
So you made 1,048, which rounds down to 1,000 when we round it to the nearest 100. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, because we always think about rounding up, but you couldn't make one that rounded up. Well, I am very impressed with my special guests this afternoon. Fantastic maths, really good explanations. And shall I admit to everybody why you've been really good compared to me on this recording, Amy? Shall I admit to people? What do you think?
Yeah, go.
I said to Amy and to Amy's mum Emma, don't worry, if you make a mistake, we can start again. And who's managed to make a mistake and make us start again, Amy?
You.
I have, yeah. I managed to bring up the end of the PowerPoint, so we had to start all over again. But Amy and Mum, absolutely perfect. So thank you so much for sharing your maths with us. So that's day 4 and day 5's answers. Something a little bit different next week. We haven't got rapid reasoning or arithmetic for year 6 or for any of the other year groups, because it is STEAM week next week. So watch out for an exciting announcement from Mrs. Drew, either later today or tomorrow. We'll come back to the arithmetic and the reasoning after half term, but because it would have been STEAM week in school, I'm probably doing a little spoiler here, aren't I? STEAM week virtually next week, and there'll be lots of science, technology, engineering, art and maths heading towards the whole school. Oh, that sounds exciting, doesn't it?
Yeah.
A little bit different. We're mixing it up a bit next week. Thank you so much to you, Amy. I think you're putting me out of a job in terms of maths explanation. Over to you after half term to do these. And you take care, keep up with that cooking. And Emma, don't forget my recipe. You could email.
I'll send it to you right away.
See you both soon. Take care.